So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for being here. I'm honored to be joined by these amazing panelists today. Dr. Marwan, always an honor to have you here with us. So we have Dr. Marwan from the blockchain and AI authority. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm CEO of AI for Dubai Economy and Tourism, as well as the CEO of Blockchain Center.
And one of the pioneer of the blockchain and AI Dubai strategy, and really leading and having Dubai as the new blockchain and the high hub globally. I call it Hub 2.0. So that's great. Thank you.
And
John.
And the funny thing is, before we introduce John, is me and John worked together actually in 2016 during the Dubai blockchain strategy. So he was an integral part of that as well.
Awesome, John. Thank you very much. So John Lillis, CEO of Telos, please introduce yourself to the audience.
Thank you for having me. I guess I was one of these early Bitcoin guys. I was one of the first consensus employees. That's how I met Dr. Marwan. I came here with my old boss, Joe Lubin, in late 2015, kind of like right before all this stuff really exploded in Dubai. I helped build Polygon as well. I run my own venture fund, and more recently I started working on a little bit of an experiment called Telos. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. And also we have Eowyn, right? Is the right pronunciation?
Eowyn Chen.
Eowyn Chen, CEO of Trust Wallet. Thank you again. Please introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm the CEO of Trust Wallet. How many of you guys use wallets? Okay, all use. How many of you use Trust Wallet? Nice. We got some good penetration rate, I guess, there. Yeah, so we're the world's largest crypto mobile wallet. We have 150 million total downloads. And right now we have 15 to 20 million active on a monthly basis with a global presence. And we're also one of those most exclusive chain wallets out there. We support 100 chains, with 60% of them are non-EVMs. So if you're in the industry, you know that that kind of architecture is a little bit hard to build, because we do want to become a one-stop shop, super app for every on-chain economy out there.
Thank you very much. And about myself, I'm Serena Sebastiani. Again, my pleasure to be here today. I lead digital asset business for PwC in the Middle East. I've been in this space for ages now. Support regulators and the ecosystem in general, really to shape the industry in the Middle East. So my pleasure. The topic today is really like getting insights. Again, we have crypto pioneers here and people that are really shaping the future of the industry in this region. I always say that the UAE is the Hub 2.0. Now, after Hong Kong, Singapore, now we see this move of firms coming over. We'll see what will happen with the US, but I really believe the UAE in particular will be the hub for the entire region, Middle East, Africa, our channel to India and Pakistan. So let's start from maybe Dr. Marwan, and then we'll do a round. Just very general, I'd like to hear from you. Like, how do you see the industry evolving now? What are the cool things to look at with a focus in the Middle East?
I think first and foremost, I think the human connection and getting together, the gathering is actually super important. And Dubai is the best place to do that. Dubai is if you drop a pin from anywhere in the world, the center of that pin is actually always Dubai. If you want to travel from any destination to any destination with a direct flight, it's almost always Dubai. It's this part of the world bridges Europe to Africa, to Asia, to the Americas. And today we had a city briefing with all our stakeholders. And what was very interesting to me was like, Dubai not only have the best logistics, has the best talent, has the best tourist attractions as rated by people. So this people connection and really having your hand on the pulse is super important to Dubai, and it's super intrinsic in how we do business, whether it is tourism, whether it is the hospitality, whether it's crypto. Understanding the customer, understanding the retail, understanding the institutional customer, understanding the businesses that move to Dubai, and meeting with the actual exchange holder, the wallet providers, the DeFi people on a regular basis. In Dubai, we have round tables on a regular basis with every business that's in Dubai, whether it's a multinational, corporation, whether it's a small business, which is a grocery shop in Dubai. For example, we have a grocery application where you don't have to go to the grocery shop, and it's actually delivered by the grocery shop itself. It's not like the delivery service and that kind of stuff, but we have delivery services. We access everything that can be digitized to make people's life easier. Even in our AI kind of outlook and strategy, we put the human at the center of it. So every single human kind of centric approach for us is to enhance, improve, and exceed the user experience anywhere else in the world. So that's why we're successful.
Agreed. I think that's two things that you mentioned that are very important, right? The human connection and putting individuals together. And I think this is something that first Dubai does very well, and we see it with all the the number of conferences that we host, the very important ones. But also like with the associations, we have MENA FinTech Association that has a digital asset committee. We have a blockchain center. We have the Dubai Crypto Association. Yeah. So we have a number of that. But also
A2D2 as well.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, we have a number of them, and there are really like a lot of moments of association, right? I'm part of the crypto ecosystem and the crypto community, and I do a lot of these things, and really like hearing from people that are in Dubai or are coming actually to Dubai to, get these insights. It's very, very interesting. And also shapes and growth and grow our own thinking. And the second thing is really like how Dubai has been pioneering in terms of AI, blockchain. And let's always remember that this is the first country in the world that has a virtual asset focused authority, right? VARA. There is no other country in the world with a virtual asset regulatory authority that is focused on virtual asset only. So this is really to shape the future of the industry, and to welcome global players. We have impressive names, all global players setting up shops and setting up their headquarters in Dubai. How do you see, John, state of the industry from your perspective, and tell us what are you guys doing that is cool to share with us?
Yeah, sure. I'd just like to make one quick point with respect to Dubai. It's also extremely livable. Tremendous development over the last few years. I spend most of my time in Marina. I go for these long walks every evening. It's wonderful by the water there. And then, of course, I remember 2015, 2016 when Consensus first came here. Dr. Marwan was laying the groundwork. The Crown Prince sent out a very famous tweet that the blockchain ecosystem will be a core focus for Dubai, and subsequent to that, the organization and action was incredible. So governance here is extremely good, probably some of the best governance anywhere else in the world. And one of the things that you've seen since then is other regions kind of like having unclear rules and regulations that have actually stifled innovation and growth, whereas Dubai from the start had very, very good governance, very straight from the top, and leadership really helped this ecosystem grow tremendously. In terms of the ecosystem right now, I would say it's really a technology-driven story. So on the Ethereum side, we've got tremendous push for ZK in particular, and that specifically relates to scaling the L1, which is one of the big concerns that we have at the moment. Of course, there's been a tremendous growth spurt of L2s, but there has been quite a bit of controversy with respect to capturing that value, specifically on the L1. And so there is a new roadmap. It's called Beam, and it describes quite an ambitious undertaking. I personally think Ethereum needs to go back to proof of work. I've been saying that for some time. I think that a hybrid consensus needs to emerge. So when you look at Ethereum as an execution environment for ZK, it's actually quite poor and it's very difficult. At Telos, we've been doing lots and lots of ZK research. We've released some really incredible benchmark testing results on the aggregation side, and there's some technical nuance there. But that being said, I'm very convinced that the future of Ethereum as it relates to scaling, and particularly in the context of ZK, is going back to ASICs, because the ZK proving will have to be done off-chain with ASICs. And so if that's the case, then why not have the consensus be driven by useful proof of work? And then you can actually have a hybrid component where now, in addition to that, you have a proof of stake component as well, because basically all the validators are doing is just agreeing on like what 2/3 of the other validators are agreeing upon anyways. And so now you can kind of parallelize not only the computation, but the execution as well. And so you can really start to scale, you know, and realize some of the early memes and visions we had of like a world computer, which we didn't actually build a world computer. Microsoft, Azure, AWS built a world computer. We built a global US dollar thin end fiat client. And we do, in my opinion, have a tremendous amount of rehypothecation risk right now with all the staking and restaking. So in my opinion, as it relates to the state of the blockchain, from an Ethereum perspective, you know, maybe it's a hot take, but that's where I think we need to really be focused over the next few years. And just one last point, as we move in that direction, going back to securing, you know, like hash-based securing, which obviously a lot of people right now are talking about quantum resistance and so on. You know, I think that also kind of like plays very well Stark-based and hash-based as core fundamental principles, going all the way down into the actual consensus layer. That's what I think is the current state of the blockchain.
So I want to ask you what you think of L3.
L3? I use degen, actually, which is the L3 of Base. Recently, their roll-up as a service provider canceled their services. I guess the bills weren't paid or they had a billing dispute, and then the chain stopped working. But I do have some meme coins on the degen L3 chain. And
who doesn't?
I mean, it's not very secure, and it's just for fun. I don't think it's a real solution in the long term.
Yeah, yeah. Hyun, the Trust Wallet has become quite, you know, pretty well known as a crypto storage. I mean, very trusted. So, what are you guys working on? What do you see as the future of trust, the future of storage?
Yeah, so I would tie the two questions that you mentioned together, both how I see the state of the industry, and also how I see our roles in it. If I were to describe the state of the industry, I think right now is a really exciting time, because crypto and blockchain as an industry, if you to put it in the proper stage of the growth, we're in still this hyper-growth VC stage industry. And with that, it means talent matters, technology matters, innovation and operating models, iteration matters, and lastly, money matters. And if you guys are following, I guess everyone over here are somewhat driven by the price signals out there, right? People might see price as fluctuating. So is the fundraising in the VC industry. If you're in AI, 2017, 2018 it was a hype time, and then it went down, right? Crypto went up. So right now, the price gives us a signal is that there's also a lot of the momentum and potential liquidity to help the industry to grow. So those are. That is a really good macro moment. And then now coming down to our industry, I see major changes and milestones that we're hitting that set us up for good mass hypergrowth adoption stage. Telos will probably be better than I do, but as a wallet starting from 2017, the kind of technological infra that you're working with, all the chain fragmentation is way worse, and scalability problem is way worse. And right now, I see both on each of the chain level innovation and on cross ecosystem interoperability level, we're making major improvements already. So I will honestly say that many of the techs are probably ready. Now it's a time for applications, for utility to be able to thrive. And when it comes down to utilities, I see the major change that we're connecting both ways, off-chain and on-chain. And in this recent market cycle, I see liquidities are moving from centralized exchanges to on-chain. We reach all-time high as a percentage of the DEX's volume versus centralized exchange volume. It's a major shift that it means the infrastructures and the opportunities and what the on-chain world offers is attractive enough. And the second is that another example, things moving from off-chain to on-chain, is user engagement side. Recently, we had a feature called Launch Pool. If you're in the industry, you know that it's a way for token distributions and reward. Binance pioneered that, and many of the centralized exchange follow. We only have done this for a month and a half. And now, every time we do a launch pool, the TVL is more than 100 million to 7 days. Right.
Yeah.
And then users' APY is on average more than 60%. And then 1 week APY is like 2%. What does this number mean? This number only for short for Binance is actually higher than OKX, Bybit, BitGet type of centralized exchanges operating model. So it means that users are engaging, the engagement model and the potential reward and the mechanism model are working now, potentially are going to work even better than the centralized platform in a way more efficient way and transparent way. And that's what we want. That's why we do things on chain. So those are the two examples. Volumes are moving, user engagement models are also moving. So it's great momentum. And another trend that I'm seeing is also TradFi and DeFi are merging too. We talk about RWA, and I can think about RWA is we're abstracting TradFi for crypto.
Agreed.
Right? And we're saying that let's abstract the crypto for normal users. Yes, we're doing that, right? We're doing all the gas abstraction, chain abstractions, not to make it, doing payments so that crypto can go off-chain in real world to be used. But then we're actually helping TradFi products to access global users way more efficiently, without boundaries, with transparency, with opportunities. So things are happening both ways, and that's fantastic opportunity thanks to the regulatory framework, thanks to also the Wall Street and the financial institutions are engaging in this way. It helps to build everybody bigger and stronger. And lastly is that, but people are still having a hard time using and exploring all of those stuffs. So my vision is that I think the Web3 user experiences will be Web2-like in 1 or 2 years. Because of a lot of the technical infrastructures we're moving, in Ethereum ecosystem, even recently, we just got a new proposal, ERC 7779, 7779, merge into the Ethereum ecosystem, which significantly helps with smart wallet interoperability cross chains. So we are moving towards a Web2 fintech-like experiences, but powered by Web3 technology. That's what we wanted for 7 to 10 years. And with the time necessary to build, I think we're getting really close over there. So, and with the price effect, with the liquidity, even my mother's friends are asking me about how to do crypto, right? We got the curiosity, we got the interest. Now is the best time to build, take the momentum with the technological momentum, with the capital momentum, with the regulatory movement momentum, that we can take the hockey stick of the growth for the industry. And that's what really excites me. And as a wallet, we want to be the front end for the industry. There could be so many exciting things building in the back, but we want to figure out the distribution problem and the user needs problems and help to channel all of that together. So that's what we want to do for the next year.
That's great, thank you. Actually, you mentioned a couple of things that are interesting, right? So trust and security versus decentralized exchange, OKX, Binance, and so on. And I want to touch base on this a little bit. Merging TradFi and DeFi with RWA specifically, but I think it's in general the tokenization. Tokenization, right? We look at stablecoin, that the perfect use case of merging TradFi and DeFi. and then the distribution, right? How relevant is distribution for massive adoption? So just a couple of things around this. How do you think you can drive mass adoption, through distribution while maintaining security and trust, because that's what we want for our consumers, and really like enabling what I call, it's really like embedded finance eventually, right? So how this can enable the virtual asset industry to become part of our everyday life and not only TradeFi, but really embedded finance, like in our grocery hubs, right? So what do you see, just in a couple of words, then we switch topic, but how do you drive these, and specifically on trust, security, and mass adoption?
I can start. I'm sure that all of this have different angles that can contribute.
Yeah.
So something that really help us to build trust, and I would say trust is Trust Wallet's biggest assets. Ultimately, product and technology will become commodity.
Yeah.
What gives a company, what gives a project and the product moat, ultimately is going to be your relationship with your users. If it's B2B, it's your relationship with the business partners. And then for us, how we build the trust, I think there were 3 layers. The first one is, of course, technological layer. Do you have the proper tech setup? Do you have the proper code management? Do you have the proper, ways to do self-custody, right? There were so many wallets here are still holding some part of your key. If any of you are doing meme coin trading on Telegram bot, I would be like, slightly be careful about that. Like the profit might not be yours. So those are the technical solutions, cryptographical solutions, and some of the design and the product choice to give users transparency and the trust. So we do open source of the key signing infrastructures. We have bug bounty program, right? We have all those kind of the ways to help us to keep continuously improving the security stack that we can do along with the industry standards moving. But code is not the only thing. The industry's biggest problem with the trust is actually scams.
Yeah.
People lose more money to the scams for normal users than to the hack. And then why is there so many scams? Is because it could be a knowledge gap, and it could also be an operational gap. Projects are building are also giving vulnerability to how they run in making decisions that allows those hacks and scams to happen. So as a project builder and business builder, it's also about how do we build operations? How do we build decision making? How do we build the whole framework to ensure that the decisions and the design that each of the levels are doing holds security and the trust at a higher level? So this is something that I hold my team accountable. And in the beginning of the year, we're the first wallet ever, like software wallet, hardware wallet, whatever security brands you can think about, we're the only one that got certified with global ISO standards with security and privacy. This is more than just the code. It tells a lot about policy. How do we ensure business continuity? How do I do system management? Those are also matters because ultimately a lot of the decisions are made by human. So how do we make sure we're a good operator to build security and the trust? And then the last thing is ease of use. Because users and the outsiders trust us when they can understand us. When they don't understand you, when they feel that they have a hard time navigating you, there's not going to be trust. Just thinking about the people. If you saw this person, I don't know who you are, I don't know where you come from, I don't know your motivation, and I don't feel comfortable interacting with you, there's no trust. Same thing with product. I need to, every interaction, engagement that I have with you, I feel I have confidence being built throughout the process. Easy matters. That's why we want to abstract things away. That's why we need Web 2 experiences. It's because ultimately people have confidence to interact with the Web 3. So those are the 3 layers I would touch on.
Very good, thank you. Dr. Marwan, maybe touching base on this, right? So we have, we mentioned important things, trust, security, ease of use, so accessibility. So what's back to massive spread and massive adoption of blockchain, virtual asset? in the Middle East, not in Dubai, and globally.
I think there's multiple layers, and thank you for the thorough explanation. I couldn't agree more. I think one of the things is on-ramp, off-ramp is hard in a lot of places in the world. In Dubai, it's not the case. You can very easily now directly withdraw to your bank account.
We're doing that better.
Yes, we're dealing with it. But I think
trying.
AED, stablecoin now, coming up will help a lot in that.
Yes.
A lot of times, a lot of people don't understand how much money they have because it's in a stable coin in a US dollar, for example. It gives you a bit more comfortable, experience as well. There's no exchange rate. And eventually all the stuff will be almost like a bank account wallet, like an e-wallet that's tied to your bank account, and you can withdraw and deposit directly from your bank account. And you have this fluidity and instant kind of on-ramp, off-ramp. This will help a lot and bring in the we call them the normies into the industry. And I think education is super important. That's why for us in Dubai Blockchain Center, we do education not only for the regulators and the decision makers and C-suites and the technical people, but also education for the masses. For one of our spokesperson and head of growth for Dubai the Blockchain Center is a crypto granny. So if your granny can understand it and explain to her by a grandmother as well, anybody else can understand it. If your kid doesn't understand it, your kid probably understands it better than your granny. So that's our ultimate test, a litmus test, kind of speak. But in Dubai, like I said, we're the exception. A lot of people hold crypto here. It's there's two kind of conversation to be had. One is the main street, which is already happening, and then one is in the boardroom, which is already happening. And both of them are happening already in Dubai. So in Dubai, we're an exception. We are not the kind of rule across the world, but there's a long way to come for us in Dubai to lead this kind of conversation of how we did it in Dubai as a model and how crypto adoption should be done across the world. You mentioned Vara. Vara is an amazing example of how Dubai did things differently. A dedicated, crypto regulator built from scratch with the purpose of regulating not the underlying assets in crypto, but the activities tied to the virtual asset service providers. And it's a complete game changer, and a lot of people underestimate it, but it's actually a complete kind of new kind of perspective on how to regulate, because everybody else in the world was trying to regulate it using the Howey test, whether is it a security or a utility or some other combination of both. And it was extremely hard for a lot of the technical kind of people to even understand what security and some of them were both. And some of them started as a utility token and became a security because of proof of stake, for example, Ethereum and others. And there's no easy way of making it a mass technology without overcoming this hurdle, which is regulation. And this is what we've done, and we never look back, because this is the future and this is how we're moving forward.
But it's very close to my heart for a number of reasons. So it's a kind of a baby that we all really care of, and a team of visionaries, His Excellency Lal, Deepa, Matt, really team of visionaries. And supporting the industry. I mean, it's maybe one of the few regulators in the world where you can really knock the door and have a very transparent conversation, and you're listened to, and it's a regulatory approach that really reacts to the needs of the industry
100%.
And doesn't prevent innovation at all. They partner with foundations. They have a lot of initiatives, roundtables every month. It is amazing how we are looking at the travel rule and to find solutions together with the industry, right? Find
Also
a solution together.
Even for advertising, we were the first in the world to say you cannot advertise unless you get license.
Exactly. This is the new one, which is finally. Okay, very good. So maybe I'm sorry, John. What are just to close on this loop? New use cases.
Yeah, I think identity is the key, self-sovereign identity and reputation systems, the extent to which you can establish your identity on-chain. You have a canonical identity, persona constructs. Each persona construct describes you in a different context. Those persona constructs have attributes. Those attributes can be attested to by others. The attestation is the key. So Dr. Marwan's going to like this one. You look at something like Ethereum attestation service. It's an open source public good for Ethereum for issuing attestations within these identity schemas. And now we're going to see attestation service providers who can issue attestations that this is a real person, that an identity has been verified. And so now you can have much more granular understanding of who this person potentially is. So you can have fully on-chain use cases unlocked, such as lending and borrowing, which could work very well, given that Dubai was the first one to pioneer land titles on the blockchain. And so you can unlock tremendous use cases fully on-chain with composability to DeFi so that capital can be available for the purpose of, for example, buying a house, having the title be transferred, and all of that anchored in self-sovereign identity and reputation. But the key is the attestation. That's the key.
Thank you. There is something that I always like to do, also for our audience, to kind of get to know us better, right? So I'll do like a quick round of very quick questions, and just one word from you to respond to. Who is your favorite crypto CEO?
I think she is. because I think before
no referential.
First it's a female leader, number one, and I never saw her saying anything about female or anything. So it is actually comes naturally in Dubai. A lot of people are female CEOs, and we don't shed enough light on that, and it's extremely important. Number two is that she brought that trust to decentralized wallet and with the trust wallet, and unified this whole kind of movement towards DeFi. So a game changer and a mother as well, and a good model for us in the industry as well.
Thank you, thank you. John?
I couldn't agree more. We just met, but I'm ready to work for you.
How many votes?
If you're hiring, let me know.
So I need a name from you now. You can't say John, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, I cannot repay. Since I've been in the industry in 2018, I do own quite a lot to CZ.
Yeah.
There are so many big moves, there are so many mistakes have been seen, and by being close to see how those things are happening, learn from the success and learn from the mistakes, learn from the vision, like one of the person with passion, with true beliefs. I think that was inspiring. No one is perfect, but you just need inspiration and motivation to be who you are and continue to drive our own inspiration and motivation forward for the industry. So I definitely am grateful for CZ.
Fantastic, thank you. I think our time is over. So I would have stayed with you for another hour, but I think we have to give space to others. So thank you very much. Really my pleasure. Thank you.